Hello, welcome to today's tutorial. Although this is not a tutorials class, this is just to show the viewers how I did the role management system in one of my application I am currently designing. Now this application is designed using the Flask framework, right? With new current technologies using the object relational mapper, right? And the database we use is Relational Database Management System, which is a MySQL, which with the aid of Object Relational Mapper that we know, we can easily migrate our our database to any of the relational database management system. Whether you're using the PostgreSQL, you're using the Microsoft SQL Server, or you're using Oracle, or any relational database management system that you can think of. That's one of the advantages of using the object relational mapper rather than using the structured query language that we know, because many relational database management system, especially when you're writing advanced SQL, maybe you're writing an advanced function or procedures, right, or views, right, they may not be the same exactly. It may not be the same. So to avoid that complexity of or maintenance, and that's why the best is this object relational mapper. You can write your queries using complex queries using object relational mapper very well, efficiently well, and also you can easily to migrate them easily to any relational database management system. Another advantage of using the object relational mapper is that it prevents SQL injection. Now, I'm not saying that using the structured SQL query cannot prevent the SQL injection, but you just have to be very careful. You have to be a professional, whereby if you're writing your procedures, if you're writing your function, you have to be extraordinarily careful. If not, yes, there will be leakage. Okay, so I will start now because the core scope of this is to show you all how I did the role management system, right? So now this is an enterprise e-learning system that comprises of the educational portal, the e-learning that comprises of the where you can streamline your videos, you can do uh, a real-time video streaming with your students or your staffs, and you can do read chat that contains video chat, live chat, and group chat with all your students or within the staff. So that's what this system is made of. And also it handles attendance efficiently well for offline and online students. While doing your video tutorials to create the interactiveness to be able to create effective attendance. So but here I just want to show you how the role management system is being built. Okay, so let me log in. Now you can see this is the role management menu, right? You can see all these things here are auto generated. They are not like manually keyed in here, right? So I have my role management here and I have up to 5 modules here. So how do we create this role management for the system? You can see this user, we can see this module user. Now we created a module for user that stores users details. Now currently now we have 3 users on this system here. We have 3 users, right? Which in real life now we have over 1 million, 2 million, 3 million. Now, how efficient can you be able to design your system? One major thing you need to consider when designing a web-based system is pagination. It's very, very necessary, because if you fail to implement, sometimes what most developers do is they use this jQuery pagination. Now, jQuery pagination is just for front end. So it depends on, like, if I'm using an object relational mapper and I do query.all, that means I'm selecting every record out from that particular table. Now, jQuery, no doubt, jQuery will paginate on the front end, but it's not efficient because you are pulling out all the records from your table in your database server. So that is why pagination is not, that is why pointer is necessary and not this front end page. As you can see, I didn't use the jQuery here. So everything here, if there are more than 10 records here, if, let's say if there are more than 11, if there are 11 records here, you will see page 2, because what I did was to paginate each of my modules to always to pick 10 records per page, right? That's how I did it for everything. I maintained the efficiency, 10 record per page, right? So that's how I did it, and the design is all, they're all the same. So web design is very, very simple, right? So this is for users, So these pull out 10 records in a page. So if there are more than 10, it shows page 2. If there are more than 20, it shows page 3, and so on and so forth. So let's move on to the next one. So this is the role module, right? We created a model that stores the roles. Currently now we have only 6 rows in this system because it is still at the building stage. We have not get to the testing stage yet. Still at the building stage. Okay, now these are 6 modules in the system here, right? Which you can add more by clicking on this button, add more. You can delete all by this. You can search here, which you can see I'll just put AD because using a like SQL like syntax. So that's why when I put AD, all the names that contain AD, that's what it returns for me here. Okay, now you can search, you can edit, and you can also delete. Okay, so you can see. So the next one, the next module we'll look at is the role assign user module. Now, what this module does, we create a model that monitors each users assigned to a particular role. Now, the rule of this system is a user will not have more than one role, right? A user will not have more than one role. Now, let's say this is John Wendy. John Wendy is already assigned super administrator. So even if I want to add again and I click John Wendy and I click financial secretary and then assigned, it won't allow me because what we did, we assigned the role that a user must only have just one role here on this system, right? But another thing is 3, 4 multiple users can have same role, but a user cannot have more than one role. But multiple users can have same role. Okay, that's why you see Peter and Chima they are all both in the same role. Okay, so the next module we look at here is the role access. The role access. Now we created a model, right? We created a model that registered the modules that assigned modules where we assigned modules for a particular role. Now you can see the administrator here. The administrator can only have access to users, dashboard, roles, role access, role users, faculties, user privilege. Financial secretary doesn't have any module assigned yet. Because we have not assigned any to the financial secretary. Then the instructor, we have just this, like I said, this is just the building stage. You can see the administrator has more modules assigned to the super administrator. So the telemarketer only have the announcement, carousel news in the company. So you can decide to add more. Let me click on add more. Right now, this is the whole logic. You can see every modules that came out here like this, all the modules that came out here like this, they are not stored in the database table. They are not stored in a database table. They are already registered on the Flask Web application, which we register them here. Let me just show you. I call the script blueprint registration, right? I call it blueprint registration. I built a script to register them. So when I build, let's say for instance, when I build a folder, right? If I build you can see every folder here represents a module. Every folder here represents a module. Like this department folder is a module in this application. So this department folder have a template which keeps the which we have all the user interface for departments here in this template folder, and this init folder that register the blueprint, and then we have the forms which contains all the forms for the department, and then the models which we define the table for the department, and then the rules that contain the functional requirements of this module called department alone. So it makes our work easy to read and easy to understand. So anybody that takes this project can easily understand it and can easily read it. So that's why I choose Flask Framework. It gives me that flexibility to be able to organize and structure my code and structure my modules with the aid of Blueprint. Okay, you can see all the modules. Once I registered them here, automatically it comes up here. It adds to this, right? It add here to this list here. So that is how it's done. So we didn't have any special table that stores a module, right? So let's go back. Now that's how it's done. So we can assign to secretary if we wish to, right? But right now we're still on the building stage because we have not actually built a financial secretary modules yet on this system. Because like I said, this system is a very large system that will, because it's a continue, is something that will keep on developing and keep on enhancing. You can see that we have a video stream here where we can do online a general video meeting, real-time meeting. Here we have the chat here. We have the chat here. Well, let me just show you the chat. We have the chat here where you can do group chat and private chat. Where you can do group chat and private chat here, but it's still on development stage. So let me just go back to where I am. Okay, and the role access table. Okay, okay. Now that is how this is done, right? That is how this is done. So you can see that each of these roles here have their modules assigned to them. So the last one is the user privilege. User privilege. Remember that we have three users registered on the system here, and each three users have three roles, right? Now the essence of building this way is, now you can see that John has all the privileges checked for each of the modules registered under super administrator. But you can see Peter and Chima, you can see I can decide, I'm a super admin on this system. I can decide to give Peter all the privileges he needs for each of the modules here, right? But I may also decide, I can still decide not to give Chima despite they're in the same position. Despite they're in the same position, so that in case it depends. So that's how we implemented this way, right? Despite there's an audit trail on this system that keeps record of everything going on. But why we did it this way is that even if you're in the same role with a particular user, you may not have the same access. You can see that they're in the same role, they have the same module, but they won't have the same access. So even if this Chima is seeing all this and he clicks one of these, since there is no privilege attached to this role user, right? Now Chima will not have access to the role user. So we try that and see how it works. Okay, let me remove some privileges from this guy. Okay, faculties, right? Okay, so which how this is done is the same pattern, the same pagination, which is 10 users per page. So even if there are 10,000, 1 million users, it will still bring out 10 users per page. But if you know the name of the user, you can easily just type, okay, you can easily just type the name of the user here, and the user comes up here, which we typed Peter, and Peter came up here with all the privileges, right? So even if there are 100 million, 100,000 or 100 million people, you can just type their name and it comes out, and then you give them their privileges. So it maintains the efficiency of the system, and so that the system will work perfectly fine without errors. But one thing we should consider is when hosting this, we also consider the server space we're trying to host this, and you also calculate the number of users you're trying expecting. Although this is a system which won't be dedicated to for everybody in the world to use, like it will only be dedicated to a particular platform or a school, which it can work well, right? So as a developer, these are the things you need to consider, and the platform as a service, you need to consider it also to enable the software work perfectly fine. Okay, let me log out here now, and let me log out as Peter. Right, Peter is an administrator. Definitely, what Peter will see is all this here. Right, what Peter will see is all this here. So let me log out as Peter. Okay. What is Peter at that time? I think it's Peter. Okay, Peter. I think it's Peter at gmail.com. Okay, let me try it. It's not Peter at gmail.com. Okay, it's this one. Okay, now this is Peter. You can see that these are the modules assigned to Peter. So in education, we have faculty. In role management, we have all the roles assigned to Peter. So let's try faculty. I think faculty, we didn't give Peter that privilege. You can see you do not have the can select access to the faculty module. So that's how this application is done, right? So now you can change a role for Peter, but remember when changing a role for Peter, we have to be careful. If you're trying to change a role for Peter, now that's privileges that was assigned to Peter, everything will go out. Now watch. If I'm editing Peter, I need to be very careful. Now if I'm changing Peter to an instructor, right? Once I'm assigning this role, every privilege Peter had on the privilege table, everything will definitely go out, and Peter will never have access to this module. You can see that Peter module module has changed because Peter is no longer an administrator. Peter is now an instructor. So I hope you understand this. If you think of a better, efficient way to design the role management system, don't forget to comment on my write a comment on my comment section. But I think what this is one of the technique to design role management system. Thank you and stay blessed.